You ain't been getting done a long time. You ain't as productive as you need to be to accomplish your goals. We're gonna fix that today. I'm gonna show you all the productivity hacks and tricks I use to go from being broke as hell to making my first million and beyond. This is very important, man, because if you can't be productive, then you can't produce. So let's get right into it. Here are some of the productivity hacks I used to make my first million. And if you do this, I promise you, this time next year, you have accomplished all your goals and then some. And you'll have me to thank for it, because all I want for you is to attribute your success to me. I'm a machine that runs off your praise. First thing you need to do is you need to say no to almost everything. The most productive people I know or have ever met, they're not just doing things that you're not doing. More importantly, they're not doing things that you are doing. It's a form of addition through subtraction. It's about cutting the dead weight, raising the anchors so you can sail off to victory. When I was working on making my first million, that meant saying no to almost everything else. Meaning you figure out what the priorities are. What are the things that will help you accomplish your goals? And it's probably only a few, and you need to focus on them and ignore almost everything else. So I did that to make my first million. This is extreme. I wasn't watching TV shows. I wasn't going to movies. I wasn't watching basketball or football or any other sports. And you know how difficult that is for me, because I'm black. I'm genetically predisposed to loving basketball and football. No random hookups, no clubbing, no video games. It was head down focus, because I was dead set on accomplishing this goal. The number one way to know if you are on the path to accomplish your goals is when people say you're crazy. Because what I'm talking about looks like insanity to everyone else. You start behaving like this, people are going to say, oh, you're doing too much. You're working so hard. You need to relax. Everything in moderation. And these are all the battle cries of mediocrity. You're watching this video because you want to be extremely successful, right? You don't want to be a regular motherfucker doing regular shit. You want to be extremely successful. And extreme success requires extreme action. There's no way around that. Even if you're doing crime, you got to be extreme for extreme success. And like you just knocking over corner stores doing regular crime. But yo, Bernie Madoff, he stole billions, but he was going super hard, right? And I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying the problem with doing crime is if you're smart enough to do crime, then you're probably smart enough to make it legit as well, right? So we want to do everything legally, but extreme success requires extreme actions. And extreme actions look fucking insane to regular motherfuckers who do regular shit. So if people are not saying that you're crazy, bonkers, insane, doing too much, obsessed, workaholic, if you're not hearing this from your friends and loved ones, then you're probably not on the path to success. Extreme success is not for everyone. And it doesn't mean that you're better than them or they're worse than you. Y'all just have different goals. People with different goals have to have different behaviors to accomplish their goals. They want to make just enough. They want to live good and have fun doing it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you are watching this video because you want extreme success. It's going to require extreme actions. And the first thing you have to do is say no to almost everything. People are going to say you switched up. You're going to lose friends. Family's going to be mad at you. I went through all of that shit. You know, girlfriends are going to break up with you. I went through all of that shit, and I do it again in a heartbeat. But not everybody's willing to do that, right? Because it's a sacrifice. The problem is, if you don't sacrifice for your goals, then your goals become the sacrifice. But you're making a sacrifice either way. You just have to pick. Do you want to sacrifice your goals, or do you want to sacrifice the other shit? And you don't have to do it forever, because once you get success, it's easier to keep it. But to get there is going to take what I'm talking about. You got to say no to almost everything every day. So there's a great book I read a long time ago, like when I was on the path to making my first million. It's called The One Thing. And it was written by a dude who was worth about $100 million. At the time it was written, I'm assuming he had some assets and investments. They probably went way up since then. Right? He might be close to $1 billion right now. He said, what you need to do is figure out what your goal is, and then figure out what is the one thing. If you did it, it would make all the other goals, all the other things you want to accomplish easier or unnecessary. You have to figure that out. I don't know what that is for you. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but there is something. For me, at first, it was like, okay, if I get enough clients, then I can quit this job. So I put everything into that. And then once you find out what that one thing is, in the book, he says, work on that one thing for 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day, that's the minimum. And now you might be thinking, man, how am I going to get 4 hours a day? How am I going to get 4 hours a day? You've heard me say this in other videos, but you ain't rich yet, which means you ain't been doing it. You got to plan every hour of every day in your calendar. And I started doing this. Here's the thing. One thing, if you remember one thing from me your whole life, let it be this. Plan every hour of every day in your calendar. So here's what my calendar looks like even now, right? Look at yesterday. You motherfuckers ain't getting it like this, man. Look at today. It's for like 30 minutes of white space, man. White space is where the devil lives, right? You know, no white space, right? And then you look at now, there's white space on these days coming up, but that's going to get filled up between now and then. I even have when I'm going to go to sleep, when I'm going to wake up, right? It's every hour of every day is scheduled. I have videos on how to do this. But here's what's going to happen. You start scheduling every hour of every day. Do it for a week. It'll be the most productive week of your life. If you do it for 90 days, I promise you, everyone in your life after 90 days will be like, wow, how'd you accomplish all this shit, right? You got to put everything in there. Your workouts, when you're going to go to sleep, when you're going to wake up. I got when I'm going to eat in this motherfucker. I plan all of that shit. The plan's going to move around. Like the way, like if I look at today, I know it didn't start off looking like this, but I moved shit around. There's some shit I could have moved around, moved it around. It didn't start off like this, right? What you do is, when you start planning this like this, man, I'm telling you, you're going to be so productive, right? And here's the thing. Remember I said in the book, The One Thing, written by the motherfucker who was worth $100 million. He said, figure out what that one thing is and schedule 4 hours of it each day. It doesn't have to be 4 consecutive hours. You might have to find an hour or two in the morning. Maybe you can step away in the afternoon and get some more, but it's 4 hours on your goal. The one thing that'll really move the needle in your goal, you need to schedule 4 hours of that shit every day. And here's the thing. When I say every day, I mean that quite literally. I can't stress this enough because motherfuckers will be like, man, I do it most days. Man, I do it a lot. No, nigga, every day. I'm talking motherfucking Christmas, your birthday, your baby mama's birthday, Jesus' birthday. That's the same thing as Christmas, but it's so important I said it twice, you know. One of my favorite books is called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And legend has it, the author of The Secret read that book and it inspired her to write her version of it. But she left something out. No less than 50 times in that book, Wallace D. Wattles said, do all that can be done each day. Let's break that down. Do all that can be done is working at what? Capacity, as much as you can. How do you do that if you don't plan it? Look at this calendar, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is doing all that can be done each day. Capacity, motherfucker. So there's that part. Then it's each day. Yeah, each day. I didn't start doing this week. I've been doing it every day. So if you didn't watch anything in this video and you just did all that can be done each day and planned every hour of every day in your calendar, there's no way you would fail. As long as what you're doing is like within the fucking laws of physics and reality. You know what I'm saying? Like if you a fucking midget and you say, man, I did all I can do each day and I ain't in the NBA. Yeah. No, you right, man. You got me there, shorty. You know what the fuck I mean, bitch nigga. If your shit is real, is within the realm of reality, you will not fail if you do all that can be done each day. The only way you can do that is by managing your time. This is how you weaponize time and use it to your advantage. This is critical. So we're going to say no to almost everything. We're going to plan every hour of every day in our calendar, and every day, 4 hours devoted on the one thing they'll help you accomplish your goals. Saturdays and Sundays too, bitch nigga. I suggest you read those books as well. The One Thing and The Science of Getting Rich. Now, when we're working during those 4 hours, a lot of times it's called deep work. Deep work, one of my favorite books. Well, now in this book, he talks about actually concentrating when you're working. And he said 4 hours seems to be the limit for deep work. What is deep work? Deep work is concentrating on one task single-handedly, doing nothing else. How do we do that? Well, that's step number 4. Create an interruption-free zone. What does that look like? If you don't need to be on your phone for whatever your deep work is, then maybe you put your phone on airplane mode. I put my phone in other rooms. To this day, when I'm working on something, I'll put my phone in the bathroom. It could be something like that. Or a lot of times I had to do stuff on social media, and you might have to as well. And what I did was, man, I got a second phone and nobody had the number to this shit. So I had 2 phones. I had a personal phone and a work phone. And the personal phone, boom, I put that away when I was working during my deep work hours. And when I was with my friends or family, I put my business phone away, right? This way I was concentrating. What you don't want to be doing is doing business shit while you with your girl, business shit while you eating dinner with your mama. You want to be present when you're with your loved ones, especially because you rationing out the time you spend with these motherfuckers, right? Because you planning it. You planning the time you spend with your loved ones as well. You don't have to do that now because now we got these things called focus modes on iOS. I have an Android phone as well. I have both. I don't live a life of scarcity. I just got both. Not one of them gas station Android phones, you know. Now some Boost Mobile flip Android shit. I'm sure there's some sort of focus mode on that. I ain't looked into it. If you got an iPhone, I know you can put different focus modes, and I utilize that a lot as well now. So the two phone thing is not the same thing, but whatever, some sort of distraction-free zone. While you're doing your deep work, only work on that. The only reason to stop or take a break while you're doing deep work is to fucking urinate. You should get your shitting done before you do deep work. Go squeeze one out right before, or hold that shit. You're not a baby. If there are some babies watching this, that motherfucker's gonna grow up to be successful. He's starting off really early. Good for you, little nigga. See you at the top. Anyway, distraction-free zone. Go super fucking hard during that time. And here's how you're gonna make sure you go hard during that time. Pause. Step 5. When you're doing your deep work, we need to turn shit up with stimulants. High dose stimulants. I'm talking nicotine and I'm talking caffeine. The homie Andrew Huberman, everyone's favorite white science man, this motherfucker says he takes 800 milligrams of caffeine per day. When I heard that shit, I was like, that's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Because I take about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day. I took 300 before I started filming this. Matter of fact, y'all never seen me on less than 300 milligrams of caffeine over the last 12 years. And there's a lot of studies that show that it actually helps. Here's a study that shows caffeine enhances sustained attention among adolescents. So it even works for children, according to this study. And is another study showing that caffeine enhances memory and performance in young adults during non-optimal times of day. Listen, caffeine is a nootropic. It helps you focus. It improves performance in all areas. I'm telling you, man, you need to up your stimulants when you're doing your deep work. It's going to help you lock in, be more focused, and work faster. Now, I'm not telling you to take 1,000 milligrams of caffeine like me, or even 800 like Huberman. You got to assess your tolerance. You might not be a 210-pound, 6'2" black man, so maybe you can't have as much caffeine as me, but you need some caffeine. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking caffeine before your deep work hours. So this is going to be during those 4 hours when you're focusing on your one thing. But then you need nicotine as well. First, I need to talk about how you're going to take nicotine. I'm not telling you to smoke cigarettes. Smoking is bad for you. That's well established. No one's out here debating that. Nicotine alone is a potent cognitive enhancer. It gives you more energy, more focus, more concentration. But you can't smoke it like cigarettes, man. You got to get it some other way. A lot of people will do nicotine gum when they're working, or maybe one of the nicotine lozenges, the Nicorette shit. Some people pop Zins. Me, I don't like to do anything to get my nicotine, so I just slap on a nicotine patch when I'm working. I got a nicotine patch on right now. Matter of fact, y'all may have never seen me without one. I'm always kind of wearing a nicotine patch. Sometimes I'll take nicotine patch and pop some Zins. You know, if I want to really turn up, I have a higher tolerance than you. You can start at 1, which is the strongest one, or you can start at the lowest one. Nicotine's not bad for you. Okay, that's the thing. When nicotine itself is not bad for you, it's smoking that's bad for you. So this is from Oxford, and it says nicotine improves working memory via some shit I don't want to try to read. And there's another one, effects of nicotine on brain activation during performance and working memory tasks. Let me give you some more, man, just so you don't know, because you're really doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking it to the next level. Here's another PubMed article, basically cognitive effects on nicotine, and it just talks about how much it helps cognitive performance. Now, some bitch ass motherfucker is about to say, he's thinking of typing if he hasn't typed it already. Man, I don't need stimulants to do this. I don't need caffeine. I don't need nicotine. I don't need it. It's not about what you need, bitch. Only thing you need is food, water, and shelter. Everything else is optional. We're talking about optimization, right? It's not about what you need. It's about what's going to make you the best. And the studies show all humans perform better on these stimulants. You know, a lot of people take Adderall. The problem with Adderall, it's basically pharmaceutical grade speed. It's an amphetamine. It's more addictive than nicotine or caffeine. Sometimes if you take a lot of Adderall, you might not feel the same after. You're kind of like robbing your future for today with Adderall. I don't necessarily advise Adderall, but honestly, it depends on how hard you need to go. I got an emergency stash of Adderall that was prescribed to me by a doctor, but I got an emergency, like if shit hits the fan, I got an emergency stash of Adderall. Sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes it's go mode. So you need to be highly stimulated to get the most out of your deep work, because not about exactly what you do, it's also about how well you do it. And these stimulants will take it to the next level. Caffeine, nicotine. I wear a patch. All my white friends pop Zins. whatever works. Zens for the whites, patch for the blacks. Here's the thing. You also need to prioritize your health. That might sound kind of ironic after I just told you to fucking get hyped up on nicotine and caffeine, right? But just hear me out. A lot of times people will go hard. I'm going so hard. They don't get enough sleep, or they don't work out, or they don't watch what they eat. They use that as an excuse to eat whatever and get fat. The problem with that is getting fat, not sleeping, eating bullshit. What that does is it makes you less productive. Now, at that point, you are going to need the stimulants. But if you don't need the stimulants and you take them, now you're Superman. If you need the stimulants and take them, then you're regular. So we don't want to get the regular. We're talking about fucking hyper optimizing our shit. So we need to make sure that our body's in tip top shape as well. It's kind of like if you got erectile dysfunction and you take some Cialis, it's going to make you a regular motherfucker. If you don't have erectile dysfunction and you take Cialis, now you got erectile super function. You know what I'm saying? Now you done gave your dick the limitless pill. I say all that to say we need to prioritize our health. And what does that mean? You have to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, depending on how much you need, right? Those are recommendations. I'm good on 7 hours of sleep, but my girlfriend, she needs about 9-10 hours of sleep, like a little house cat. And that's fine, right? You got to do what you do. If we go back to my calendar, you see I have the time I go to sleep and I got the time I wake up. Boom. And this is about 7 hours. I know it's optimal for me, but everybody's different. The only reason I know that is because I track my sleep with my Oura Ring, and I'm really good at sleeping. Sleep is one of the things I do best. So I make sure I get enough sleep. I get sleep so I can do all this other shit. Like, look how hard I'm working, man. Ain't no fucking rest in that calendar. Ain't no time to fucking chill, except for the 2 meditation sessions I got each day. And that's it. You got to put your sleep in there, right? You got to still make sure you work out. I got my workouts in there on my calendar. I make sure I work out at least an hour a day. My body's like a Ferrari, a Maserati, Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce, a Bugatti, right? So I need to treat it as such. This is a high performance vehicle. My soul is inside a high performance vehicle. That's my body. You know what I'm saying? So I also make sure that I'm eating right. I'm eating clean. I mean, no junk food. If I ain't had a cheat day in 2 years, it slows me down. And then I'm not as productive. But because my diet is phenomenal, I got mad energy without the stimulants. Then when I put the stimulants on top of it, boom, now I'm Superman, super black man, or Black Panther. You have to schedule every hour of every day in your calendar. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Black Panther when I put the motherfucking stimulants on it. Y'all been taking stimulants just to be regular because you're not making your health a priority. Like without stimulus, I'm running circles around you niggas, right? Because I make sure I get enough sleep. My diet is super clean and dialed in, and I work out every day, right? Not only is having your diet clean gonna make you look better, but you gotta think, man, your body is where your soul lives. You live in your body. What kind of machine is it? Is it a Bugatti? Is it a Lambo? Is it a Rolls Royce Phantom? Or is it a motherfucking old ass Chevy with the bumper hanging off? Is it one of them motherfucking cars you hear the screech every time you hit the brakes? And here's the thing, if you got one of these high performance cars, you can't go to the gas station and put regular fuel in that. You put regular fuels in the Civic. You put that ultra premium unleaded shit in the Bugatti. You can't put regular fuel in your body if you want to run it like that. If you want your body to run like a high performance machine, this is a big foundation. So it's like eating right. It's not just vanity. When you see me weighing my food and make sure my shit is on point and going to the gym, it's not just to look better than you. That's a happy side effect. The main reason is so I can work harder because I'm treating myself like a high performance machine. Honestly, that shit needs to be in calendar. When you're going to eat, when you're going to go work out, when you're going to sleep, right? I'm planning every hour of every day in the calendar. If you do these things for 90 days, your whole life will change. I promise you. If you do it for a year, you will run circles around the competition. Motherfuckers won't be able to compete with you. Let me ask you a question. If you had to compete with somebody, would you want to compete with the motherfucker who's got his calendar dialed in? He's playing every hour of every day. He sleeps 7-8 hours a night. He's only eating clean so he has enough energy. And when he does get to work on his goals, he's fucking hyped up on enough stimulants to kill a baby. Is that the motherfucker you want to compete with? Why don't you make sure that motherfucker is you? If you do that, you will be so productive that it feels illegal. Listen, that's what I did to make my first $1 million. And I made my first $1 million as an online trainer, training people online, helping them get great results. And that was over 10 years ago. Over the last 5 years, I've been teaching people how to grow their online fitness business. And I've helped over 15,000 people grow their online fitness business. Some of them have made millions of dollars. Thousands of them have got to 6 figures a year. If you want to learn more about that, see if that's something that you're interested in, or learn how to do it, I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. The link is in the description. Go check it out.